Alright there folks, so here we are. Another new day, you beauty. Coffee's on. And here's a little update on the happenings. Yesterday was a doozy. Oh boy. What what an eventful day. So it started off not being the best, right? The weather was a little bit unpleasant. Been raining for last couple of days, and I knew that I needed to just get on with it, and I needed to drive down and check on the ducky boy, the whistling duck, because I did when I checked the weather system the last few days. It was like, oh geez, a bit of a system went on down there, so we'll need to check how we fared with the rain. So that was all that was really in my mind. I'm just gonna have to soak up some water again. That's all good. That wasn't the case. As I was driving down and getting closer, I could see that there had been a lot of wind and a lot of water. Creeks were overflowing. You could see water still seeping on the side of the road and off the hills, and so on and so forth. You could see in the gutters where the debris had piled up. Okay, I'll call that runoff swales. I was like, man, there's been a lot of water here. Jeez Louise. All right. We do what we do. So I pulled up, grabbed me paddle, marching on to get the kayaks. And no kayaks. Oh no, kayaks! Don't tell me. Someone nicked them? No, it's probably under the jetty because this has happened to me before. They got knocked off and went under the jetty. So I'm looking. No, couldn't see any of the tether rope. Nah, nah, they're not there. They're two kayaks. And I was thinking, oh, I tied it around the rail fairly well. Jeez, maybe someone did steal it. And then I thought, oh, hang on. So no one from the club had said, oh, hang on. I better message Neil and say, your kayaks are gone, mate, unfortunately. So that was actually beginning to become more annoying than the fact that my kayaks had gone. So I was like, where's the community down here? Where's the camaraderie? Where's the honour or loyalty among the captains? I don't think there is any down there. It's all sort of every man for himself. But hey, pay up, pay up, pay up your membership fees. Okay. So that doesn't include just default respect and honour between captains. Maybe not. Not sure. We'll soon see. But I don't think it works like that down there. Oh well. So that's it. Kayaks are gone. How do I get out to Ducky Boy? This was the thinking down there in that very moment, that situation. I'll just have to cop it on the chin. Oh well. I mean, they did come with the bow. But with having sitting Pelican, monitoring the finances is becoming more stringent. because $100 there, $50 there. Oh well, that's paint. Well, that's screws. That's this. Or that's fiberglass. And both Ducky Boy and Sitting Pelican need work, but Sitting Pelican sort of is the big brother, and he gets, first dibs, right? Because this is my floating home. This is my floating domain. So to get Sitting Pelican fixed and then back down to Whistling Duck, right? And then I have a floating domain. I have a floating workshop. I can get a sewing machine happening in here, and all of these wonderful things. Okay, and then work between the two boats, right? That's the thinking. Then I've got Little Hopping Wren, which is a sailing dinghy. So, okay, that looks like I need to then get on with. I have to, man, I have to fix up Hopping Wren, but I've got tools out on Ducky Boy. I've got tools in Sitting Pelican, and I don't know if I have enough tools still left in Flying Crow, which is the van. But I'm pretty sure I do. I think I've got a caulking gun. I think there's some silicone. I've got my little Azito. Maybe I'll have enough charge in a battery, and we can screw and glue and fix up that hole that's in Hopping Wren. Then we'll have to rig up the sails. We don't know if they work. All this type of stuff, right? Just things like this. Because I need to get out to Whistling Duck to check after the storm. So after standing there and going through all of this, deliberating in my mind, and sort of just looking out at Duck, you can go, man. Well, I'll find a way, mate. I'll get out to you. I'll find a way. And as I turned around and started walking back, I'm not sure what it was. My eyes. Usually, when you're on a mission, eyes are down and you're just steaming. I was fortunate enough that, alright, lifted me head up in me pondering, and over there is like cue music. Something like that, right? Hang on. I saw a red. Is that my car? Oh, that's looking where there was tied up, looking there, and the way the prevailing winds. I'm like, well, that would make sense. That would make sense. I'm like, geez, it must have ripped down here. And then again, the ping in my head. Why wasn't I contacted? Because surely someone in the passing of the week saw my kayaks tied to the jetty. And I know that there's a chap there, right, that frequents up and down. Maybe he doesn't anymore because I'm not camped there anymore in the van. Which is a bit like, if you have an issue, this is the thing I would share with someone too. It takes balls, it takes courage, right? But it's also beneficial. If you have an issue with someone, address it. Say, hey, I'm just wondering, you're camping here. I know there's no camping signs, but I'm a local, and like, have your say. Get it out of your system. Right? Same as but as I was a visitor, I didn't want to kick the hornet's nest and just say, hey, look, are you scouting me, mate? Like, what's the deal? Like, I bought the boat, right? And this is how it's working out for me. If that is annoying to you, then that's on you. All right, I can't do anything about it. But this is my situation, and I just rode with it, right? And a bit like this situation with the kayaks. So, wow, it looks like I'm going for an adventure, and this would have been a good time to have an action camp, because yesterday, the day past, would have been actually a really good action camp video. So that's in the making. Anyone wants to help out with that, I will be eventually putting into play a way for viewers to contribute to certain things. You might say, oh, you need a better camera, you need a tripod, and I'll say, hey, if you want to help me out, there's the classic good old link down there below, and you can just, you know, put some money in the piggy or in the tin, and that'll go towards all these type of suggestions to make these videos better, right? So anyway, it's a little bit of, we need to make a long story short now. 2 kayaks were there. What a relief. But I've got to get them. I've got to get them now, right? And so one of the kayaks was stuck upside down. Rope had hooked around a rock, and it was out in the water. Oh, I was like, oh man. And it was cold. It was super cold. And if I've got to get naked, I've got to get naked. Because, right, I did have the wetsuit. I don't want to get the wetsuit muddy. I don't want to get the wetsuit wet, and then that's in the van. I'm like, it's better. Let's just take. I've got a microfiber cloth. We'll take that, and we'll just have to strip and, you know, whatever. So I'm like, oh, there's a naked man down there. Oh, well, beep beep, whatever. Oh, I'll just have to deal with that because I've got to get the kayak. But fortunately enough, there was enough water where I was able to walk out, rolled up my pants, but I took my jacket and all that off in case I slipped. Right? Better to have wet pants than a wet top when it's really cold. And it was cold, believe you me. The feet were starting to go numb and couldn't really feel the rocks very well, and they were slippery, and just all end up with a little nick from an oyster shell, so that's alright, but we'll need to get some pawpaw cream on that before it becomes too much of a nuisance. But all of this with the weather, very unpleasant weather, and when I rescued the first kayak and got out, it was a little blessing. The wind disappeared, the water just smoothed right out in the sun. It was beautiful. Rescued the other one, which was quite a fair way up on the shore. So yeah, southeast peninsula of Tasmania looks like that copped a fair whack of a system. It's because easily close to a kilometre away, the kayaks were washed up away, you know what I mean? So that's a fair distance to blow and swell. And it's fortunate that that's how that the systems work down there in the tides. Right? They go down into the inlet. So big paddle, out to Ducky Boy, and open up the hatch. Yeah, it was a holy beep 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 beep. All my tools, man. Yeah, it stung. Everything, and then I could see the water on the. No. Don't tell me there's hundreds of dollars of things that are now ruined. Jeez Louise. But it was a little bit like it looked worse than it was, and it was, because it was just a shambles, and only one thing suffered that may be not salvageable, right? That may be salvageable was a handheld battery torch, which I got specifically for Ducky Boy for anchoring, like when we're sailing out, right? Because Palak, he's already got spotties on him. But this was a very powerful handheld spotlight where I could zoom in, and it was in the drink. Jeez, man. It might be salvageable, might not be. So, that was a sting. So anyway, I got in there, sorted everything out, sponged out about 70 litres of water. Right. Redistributed things, repacked everything. I've spent a good day down there doing all that. So that was yesterday's event, and no wonder I had a little sleep in. Right, lose a little bit of momentum today because I'm quite knackered. That was a big paddle, and then all of that on the ducky boy. But that's just part of the gig, being an owner of sailing boats. Right. So today, it's waking up and going, well, what do I want to achieve today? What do I want to achieve? Well, one of the things I want to achieve is be able to share stuff with you lovely folks in a more precise and confined manner, because 16 minutes is too long. So I'm going to stop this video here. If you've watched it, I watched enough of it, I appreciate it. And my little tidbit or insight is that when you feel like you're losing momentum, that's part and parcel. Have a coffee, have a tea, get a pen and paper, and then write down, like, what is it that I want to achieve today, or even this week, and then just chip away at it. I found that today, one simple thing was, where's it? Right up here. I started brushing I brushed my beard. Like, right, let's brush the beard, buddy. Let's brush the hair. I mean, I prefer it when it's all curly. When I brush it, it goes all wavy like this, right? But you got to give him a brush. And just doing that has sort of activated this reset. It's like a reset button. There you go. How I reset myself after a day. I brush my beard and I brush my hair. Then I have a coffee and then I write down some things. Good old pen and paper. It's powerful stuff. So there you go. And I'll close off on that, and I'll say, be good, be great, be brilliant, be the best you can. Like, do what you can do with what you have to lead you to where you'd rather be, or to achieve the outcomes that you'd rather achieve.